Welcome all to the Pro Football Radio Podcast. We are back with another episode, and boy, is it going to be a good one. Podcast number 17 here with Cheema and the pride and joy of Merrimack, New Hampshire, one, the Puma.
That was the greatest meow ever. It's good to be back, man.
Dude, it's good to be back, bro.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back. My God, I tell you what, I do like it because it's the off season, so we do have a day off here and there, and we take a week off because there's not that much news, man. We're just gonna sit up here and bore people to death.
Yeah,
right?
bullshit.
Yeah, so it's nice to have like a day off, but then again, like I get to that like 10th day of not recording, and I'm like starting to itch. I'm like, oh, I gotta like say something or do something kind of thing.
No
about
shit.
football related. So
on my way back from Vermont today, I was feeling itchy. I was getting stoked to record and crack open a beer from our boy Pat. Hooked us up with some beer suggestions. He's big on Instagram at beer_adventures_CT. Right now I'm drinking some Thimble Island brewing company, some Sea Mist New England India Pale Ale. So
thank you, Pat. Thank you very much, Pat. We appreciate it, brother.
Thanks for the hookup. I started off, Pat, with some super duper double Citra, and that one was pretty good. Got some bang for your buck right there.
I bet you he doesn't even listen to our podcast.
Oh, he listens, man. He listens. He checked us out on YouTube and stuff too.
Yeah, that's cool, man. How's everything going? Good, bro?
Dude, it was good. Like the last 2 weeks have been, just high of like emotions. It started off with Memorial Day weekend. It was great weather, and my best friend and his now wife, they got married on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
And I was in the wedding party. So got up there Friday, did the whole like rehearsal dinner and all that bullshit, which dinner is air quotes because we were just drinking at a bar and whatever.
Well, it's a liquid diet. You know what I'm saying?
I was on a liquid diet.
Dude, it's important to flush out just the with the liquid diet. It's important to flush it out. You know?
Dude, like the whole weekend, I was just preparing my liver. It's like, okay, like you're gonna hate me.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna wake up and have a cup of coffee at some point the following day. So like, here we go. We're gonna have some booze, gonna have some ibuprofen, have a good time. But the highlight of my weekend, besides them getting married, was just the fact that like the groom, the best man, and their dad were all carrying like fucking sidearms at the wedding. Like dude.
Well, yeah, it is the New England Northeast area, right? It
bro,
is fucking.
But what's great is like we're doing the photos and all that other shit before obviously the ceremony. And at one point, the best man, Chris, like he puts his foot up on like the railing of a bed to adjust his shoes, and like the pants, like they come up a little bit, and you can see his ankle holster. And I look at him like, Chris, like you're even carrying on like the wedding day, and he's like, yeah, why not? And then like Dad,
what's it gonna shoot up on a wedding day?
And then Dad,
like, what's gonna happen?
And then Dad was saying, yeah, I'm carrying too. And then after we do the photo shoot, the man of the hour, the groom, he's undoing his vest.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's trying to get out of this monkey suit, and right in the middle of like the pants is like, I want to say either a 9 or a 40.
Dude, why does he have a gun on his wedding day? I get it. The other two they're not on the wedding, but this dude's the fucking groom. Who's he gonna shoot up?
Dude.
Like, who's he gonna shoot up?
Dude. One, I'm not surprised that they're carrying because I love them. They're hilarious. They're good people. Yeah. But what made the whole thing was even on the wedding day, they are carrying and they have like hollow points and everything. Like, good luck crashing that wedding. And then another thing, the bride's dad, like typically like he's reserved, like he's I wouldn't say soft spoken, but like he's definitely reserved.
Okay,
bro. The reception.
You got crunk?
He won the night. Nelson won the night. At one point, like, I was off the Pluto. Like, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, yo, Nelly! Like, I couldn't believe it. He won the evening. That was the best, really? Reception throwdown ever.
Really?
And then...
So you had a good time then, huh?
Oh, dude, I had a blast. Tara had a blast. It was a great time.
This was out there in the boonies in New Hampshire, right?
Yep. So we were in... we were like 10 minutes from like Franconia Notch. We were just north of Clark's Trading Post. The Old Man of the Mountain, like we were 10 minutes away from where that used to be before it collapsed. Like we were up there.
I feel like it's very hillbilly-ish up there. Is that accurate? Because the way I see it, like I know I'm from Ohio, and Ohio is hillbilly-ish, right? Kentucky, Tennessee, all that. But I feel like once you get to like New Jersey, it becomes like, like a metropolitan. Then New York is fairly,
right. And
then us in Connecticut, we're fairly progressive. We're up in Boston, it's very progressive as well. But then once you get north of that, I feel it becomes very hillbilly-ish. Is that accurate?
Yeah, there is a a page on Facebook called Hillbilly Weather Report, and the guy is from northern New Hampshire. It's a good time for those of you that want some cheap laughs.
Yeah.
But once you go past like Concord and like Plymouth, it's kind of the dividing line of like, okay, like southern New Hampshire is kind of like New Hampshire
civilization, and then just incest on top of that.
I want to go that far, but definitely
dude, the groomsman had a fucking gun at his wedding.
Yeah, but he lives in southern New Hampshire. It's okay. I mean, I'm not denying, like, once you go past Concord, Plymouth, like, it's its own country.
Yeah.
But
so I saw a report like 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was, and it had states with the most alcohol consumption per year, right? So they did a per year per year average, and a lot of people on that a lot of states on that list were like, I forget what the exact top 5 was, but like number 2 and number 1, there was such a wide gap in disparity. It was like 4.7 gallons for number 1 per person, 4.7 gallons of alcohol per person a year. And the second place was like 3.1 or whatever it was. And number 1 was...
the 603.
The state of New Hampshire.
Yep. Hey,
I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, listen, it has to be Texas. It has to be Alaska where there's nothing else to do to fucking drink all day. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
But
it's New Hampshire, baby. We got Anheuser-Busch and
you guys be out Kentucky.
And Merrimack. What's great is Kentucky, like, you have like Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
What's great, or I guess ironic, is their distillery is in a dry county, so like you can't buy booze in that county.
Jesus.
So that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, 603. We take home the gold when it comes to drinking, baby.
Jesus.
Yeah.
you guys need God up there. You guys need Christianity.
I mean, once you go north, it's kind of like the Bible Belt of New Hampshire. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of religion, let me run something by you.
Oh boy, you found God,
dude. I almost did. I almost did. So last week, before I went down to Florida, I was at a Starbucks, right? My local Starbucks.
Shocker!
I like going to Starbucks.
Hang on a second. I gotta get my Starbucks.
Why do you give me shit about that?
Starbucks.
Why do you give me shit about that?
Can I get my almond milk with my Starbucks?
Right now, my drink is the nitro cold brew with almond milk. It's a great drink.
Can I get a nitro cold brew with almond milk?
But like, why do you give me shit for that? It's a great place to go. You do some work. You have a cup of coffee.
I give you shit because when we were going to White Plains one time, I'm in the far left lane, stuck in traffic. We're already running late for our flight.
Running late? What do you mean? We could be like, can you wait for us?
And then you were like, hey, can we stop and get Starbucks? Like,
it was a simple question. Brandon, it was a simple question. It was a simple question. As
far left lane, we're running late, and there's traffic.
What if I would have said, I need to go to the bathroom, and there's a Starbucks right there. Could you please pull over?
You better pee in your cup. you better pee in your cup, son. You better fucking have a plan.
No. But no, I love me some Starbucks. So I go there, and I sit down. I just like read a paper. I go do some work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there at my local Starbucks. And I know everybody there, and it's interesting because it's a smaller Starbucks, so if you're having a conversation with somebody, everybody else can hear it.
Right.
And this will come in later in the story. But I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, this 27-year-oldish lady, lady, girl, whatever it is, sits next to me, and just starts talking with the, hey, how are you? And I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Like, immediately I'm like, what is going on here right now? You know what I'm saying?
Was she kind of cute?
I don't know, debatable. I don't know.
All right, so debatable's a no. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
Right, so, and she starts talking about just like life and work and stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, I can't be rude to her because I'm at my local Starbucks. And if I'm an ass to her, then I don't know if they're going to be spilling my drink tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? She seems like a nice person.
Oh my God.
As the conversation progresses, she talks about how she was at 18 put into the human trafficking game. Somebody snatched her up and threw into a back of a van. At this point, I'm invested. I'm hardcore invested. I'm like, oh my God,
dude, that's like a Netflix special.
Dude, I was like, wait, is your dad Liam Neeson? Like, what's the deal here? You know what I'm saying?
I will find you.
Dude, and the fucked up part was like, I didn't know how to like react to all this. Like, I didn't have the proper sensitivity.
I mean, you're sitting there just drinking a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for all this today. I was ready to
0 to 100 quick.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for all this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like planning out some work stuff and like whatever it was. I wasn't ready for all this energy. And then she gets into like, all right, well then I spent like 3 years in the human trafficking ring or game or whatever it is, and then eventually I broke out, and they took me somewhere far deep south, and I made my way to Virginia. But around like age 22, when I got out, I found God. It was awesome. I found God. I found the Church of Jesus, whatever the full name was, and I think it's been a great positive influence in my life, and I want to bestow that gift upon you, and I want to give you some literature about the church or whatever local Denver church is.
Did you say Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
I don't know what it was.
Like the people that show up on your door on Saturday trying to be like, have you found Jesus?
Yeah, exactly, right? And she goes down this hole of, you seem like a worthless piece of shit that needs that needs saving. She tries to save me. She tries to give me literature. She tries to say, hey, you should come to this Danbury church, and you can find peace within yourself. And I'm like, literally, who do you like what? How do you not know I don't have peace already? Like, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And my whole personality, you know my personality.
Oh, I know your personality.
I'm very blunt. Dude, I'm very blunt.
I'm surprised you kept it together.
Do you know why I didn't? You know why I didn't go off on her? Is because I was at my local Starbucks. I could not ruin that relationship, you know what I'm saying? Or else I'd literally been like, get the fuck away from me. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. You already had a point here? Let me finish it. Let me finish it. All right?
Yeah. Finish it up.
So I kept it all together. I was just like, Jay, don't be an ass. Don't be an ass. Just smile and nod. Oh, God, I'm so sorry you went through all that. Are you going to be okay? How's your emotional state? Just like bullshitting her, right? And 5 minutes later, after this whole revelation, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll think about it. I'll take one of your pamphlets. I'll think about it. I'll just, it's just too much to take in right now, but I'll think about it. I'll let you know. She's like, all right, well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to come back and let me go get a coffee, and I'm going to come back and give you some more information about, just how the process is set up and blah, blah, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. She goes to get her coffee, and I shit you not, I pack everything up in a span of 30 seconds, bolt out the front door, jump in the Mustang, and do a burnout out of the fucking parking lot. No. Dude, I've never moved so quick in my whole life. Just pack everything up in my bag, boom.
Dude, so that makes so much more sense now, because when you first told me, I'm like, okay, maybe it's a bet. Maybe she lost a bet and she just has to mess with someone and say yeah, it was in a human trafficking ring or whatever. Not to make humor of that, but there are fucking people out there that do stupid shit like that. But when you said it sounded like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Robin Williams does this whole bit I don't know if you know who these folks are. They're the kind of people that show up at your door on a Saturday or a weekday, trying to spread the word and get more members and shit like that, passing out pamphlets. They're kind of the reason why there's no solicitation signs
really?
of businesses.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. So Robin Williams has a perfect bit about this when he was talking about the same church, and these are the kind of people that say have you found Jesus? And his bit was, I kind of just want to show up at the door naked one day and be like, no, but you want to help me? You want to come in and help me find him, and see what happens?
Yeah,
that. Yeah. Yep, that makes so much more sense now.
And I was so annoyed because I felt like she was.
You're at a business.
Yeah,
you're getting. It's not like you're at your house.
I'm mentally getting ready for the day. I'm in my own energy. I'm in my own space. I'm this is before I went to Naples for work, and I was getting ready for the meeting. I was like, all right, gotta hit these points, blah blah. I'm in a zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she just intrudes on my life like that. And the worst part is, Brendan, I could have, if it was anywhere else, I'd have been like, lady, get the fuck away from me. Who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I would have given her a piece of my mind. You know how I am, right?
Oh, I know how
you know exactly how I am. But, I just couldn't because I was in the safe haven of my local. And I think she knew it. She probably scoped me out. She probably saw me 2-3 weeks in advance.
But, dude, that's kind of interesting. It just sounds on the surface, and it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
They're doing that at business, they're trying to preach at businesses and trying to drum up business.
I wish I would grab one of those pamphlets before I left, but I didn't even grab that. I was just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
No.
I was like, let me do a burnout.
No, on the surface, it sounds like that. No shade, but y'all know that you've seen people come to your house on a Saturday morning, ringing the doorbell, and then you answer the thing. It's like the mailman, and it's someone that's trying to give you the Bible and all this other stuff, trying to be like, hey, come on down to 5th Street over here to our church and come find Jesus. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Dude, and she just kept harping on and on about the moral compass bullshit. What does your moral compass entail when you're doing these situations? Would you want to have a process or a method the church can provide for you where you would come out of these situations in a more positive light? And I'm like, what? lady, I'm fine. Like, chill the fuck out. I'm a good human being. You know what I'm saying?
That's the extreme.
I mean, debatable. I'm not the best of human beings, but still, like, come on.
Right. Like, that's the extreme of, like, what would you do if so-and-so or you were in this environment?
Yeah.
Well, naturally, I'm going to fucking leave.
You know what's funny, though?
I'll tell you that much.
You know what's fucked up, though? Like, the whole week, this whole past week, I've been thinking about that conversation quite a bit. Like,
oh God!
No, listen. I'm not joining the church. Relax, take a chill pill. I'm not taking.
Listen, that's no shade. I'm a Catholic, so
could you imagine
I know
if I
all
did?
about the original sin and guilt. You know what I'm saying?
If I did, I showed up at your door, knock. Brandon and Tara, how has God fulfilled you?
I'll close the door. Yo, I'm Catholic. I did all the baptism and the confirmation, everything from beginning to end. Yo, I don't need any more nonsense.
Well, her whole thing was like the moral compass led into like, we can't all just act how we feel. Like there's got to be certain laws and principles and shit. And I'm like, what? And she her big point about the two main focuses of her argument was moral compass and how in today's society people just do whatever they want and we can't have that. I'm like, no, we don't. Like I'm a good human being.
I'm not walking around killing people like Grand Theft Auto.
Like if there was no laws, there was no rules. Like I wouldn't go out there and murder somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
The worst I would do is I would like probably just like litter all the time. I would absolutely litter all the time. That's like the best for me.
15 fucking Starbucks cups coming out of that car.
Dude, instant gratification is when I litter. I fucking love that shit so much. Like I'll be driving and I'm like, fuck, my car is being dirtied up by this can.
You throw the can out?
No, there isn't.
Out the window. Don't you have a trash can at the house?
Yeah, but I'm driving. I don't want to have it in my car.
You have to go home at some point.
Yeah, but that's 30 minutes of being in my fucking car.
What's great is if you tell me you threw a can out on the way to a Starbucks that has at least 3 trash cans inside the building, I swear to God I'm going to smack the shit out of you.
I've done that.
I swear to God.
I feel better when I trash like a shitty town. Like if I'm driving through like Woodbury or Southbury, I'm like, I think about it twice, but I still do it. But if I'm like in Bridgeport, I'm like, fuck you, Bridgeport, take this shit, boom.
Wow. For those of you listening, Jay Cheema is not speaking for everyone of the Pro Football Radio podcast.
Oh, what are they gonna come after me?
Hey, I'm not taking a bullet for you.
What are the listeners gonna do? Citizens arrest?
I'm not taking a bullet for you. I'm telling you that much right now. I am telling. If you see the Puma with the Dolphins hat on in any of these locations, you leave me the fuck alone. I'm not throwing shit out.
Oh, dude, damn, you just gave me a great fucking idea. I should have bullshitted her and had her go show up to my friends' houses and be like, oh, you know what? This person here, I think they...
If she drove to my house, I swear to God, I would have put sugar in your gas tanks.
Oh, my God. If I see her again, it's going to be fucking hilarious, though.
That is hilarious, but it makes so much more sense now that you said, like, those little other pieces of the story.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you, like, a full, like, I don't want to give you the full details, like, off here. I want to get your full-on reaction on there, you know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious.
Isn't it funny, though?
My God.
Could you imagine?
Only you. Like, out of the two
You know what it is? I've realized I'm too talkative when I go out. You know what I'm saying? I always want to talk to people. It's just who I am. It's my nature. I'm by heart salesman. It is what it is. I go out, I talk to people. You know what I'm saying? You
talk to people, but they have to sell themselves to you.
Yes, I do.
That makes no fucking sense.
Dude, why can't I bring up the loopholes in my story? But no, I talk to people all the time. Like, one thing I always do is, like, I always see somebody's name tag, and I always try to address them by their name. Because it's just a personal touch, you know what I'm saying?
But I hate that person that, like, leans over the counter and is like, hey, Jennifer.
No, I don't do it like that. I just do it like, oh, hey, Jennifer, if you could please give me a venti ice latte, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Helen, you look like a Helen.
I wouldn't say that right off the bat. You know what I'm saying?
Little Tommy
but you know what I hate, though? I hate when people are all like, I'll be like, oh, Jennifer, how's your day? Can I get a coffee? How's my day? Not good. Like, I hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? I hate when they launch into your problem. They give you all their fucking problems. I'm like,
But then, like, the polar opposite end is you have someone that just, like, completely bombards you with human trafficking rings.
I know, right?
To drum up, like, church attendance.
I just want a good middle ground, right?
Oh, my God. You want a good middle ground? Stick with the fucking drive-thru. There you go.
Well, the thing is, this local Starbucks didn't have a drive-thru.
Oh, Jesus
I gotta go inside.
Starbucks without a drive-thru.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
All right. I think we should probably do some football, right?
I guess so. What are we at, like 20 minutes of BS and finding God?
Dude, you know what's funny? I feel like we could just do, like, another podcast of just us bullshitting.
No shit.
Why the hell not? We could sit here all day and just
People would enjoy it. I'm telling you that, Mike, right now.
Our boy Dero's always like telling us how we should have a podcast that we do. If this ever became a profession for us, like if we did like 2 podcasts a week, one fully football and then one just bullshit. Could you imagine?
Yep.
Just quitting our jobs and just fucking living the podcast life.
If I can find a way to squeeze money out of this, why the hell not?
Did you see some guy left a comment on our Instagram page about how podcasts are the modern day poetry?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I did. And it was like, hit me up. And it was like, I do, but I also don't want a virus on my phone. Yeah. So like, we're gonna plead the fifth on that.
All right. So first topic of the day, NFL wise, we have the Richie Incognito going to the Raiders move. Would you want to give us a quick rundown on that?
Yeah. So Richie Incognito might be the perfect Raider. Checkered past, talent. But I don't. He signed a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
I don't either.
Like when he's for those of you that don't know, like Richie Incognito, like the talent has always been there, but he is not the most mentally stable players in the NFL.
You got damn right about that.
Like if you look at like, you know, the ends of the spectrum where you look at like say Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, like I guess you could say good character guys.
Yeah.
And then the other end of it is like Vontaze Burfict.
Well, they have the two worst NFL players in the league on their fucking team now.
Richie Incognito makes Vontaze Burfict look like a scholar.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think Vontaze Burfict is by far the dirtiest player in the NFL.
Yeah, but
I feel like this is two different degrees of bad. Like Richie Incognito is a bully. Vontaze Burfict wants to kill you. Right. Vontaze Burfict could have seriously injured or ended AB's life that night.
Right. But Richie Incognito, I mean, he's probably going to get suspended at least for maybe 4 games, because before he retired, he was at a funeral home. He was getting services ready for his dad.
I heard about this. Yeah.
Apparently, he wasn't allowed to be at the premise of the fucking funeral.
Yeah, the cops had to come and take him away, right?
Yeah, the cops had to come and take him because he threatened to shoot the employees of the building, and they found like 2 Glocks, a rifle, and a suppressor in his car. And he was saying like outlandish, psychotic statements. Like the talent's always been there. He was a 3rd round pick. He was Pro Football Focus top 100 player like 2 years in a row in 2015 and 2016. He was one of the best guards in the league. But that was a long time ago,
and that's my whole argument is why bring this guy in? We don't know what he has left. We don't know if he's actually going to be good. He's kind of a questionable in this advanced stage of his career. He's kind of questionable in his talents. So why bring somebody in that's going to be that much of a unhinged character, somebody that's that crazy, somebody's going to cause that much disruption in the locker room? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it flies in the face of what Mike Mayock was preaching in the draft when Mayock, the GM of the Raiders, was looking for strong character guys in the first round. That's why he took Cleveland Farrell like at number 4, and then he took Josh Jacobs in the middle of the round, and then he took, I believe it was like a safety that had good character as well.
Yeah.
And so you have like, all right, we're preaching character. We're preaching character. We're gonna have good, solid people in our locker room, and then you have AB, which is kind of the exception because you paid for.
Yeah.
But then you have Vontaze Burfict, who is mentally unhinged, and then you have Richie Incognito that was charged by the authorities with criminal mischief and threatening, and he's had bullying accusations with the Dolphins, and then racial slurs all the way back from college to teammates.
He definitely has issues, man. He has issues. What? So the whole thing is, an NFL locker room is just like a work area, right? You'll have a bell curve of employees and how motivated they are and what kind of beliefs they have, right? So in the middle of the bell curve, that's where 80% of the people lie, right? 10% of the bottom are the negative, the ABs of the world, the Vontaze Burficts, the Richie Incognito, and then the other end of it, you have like the ultra, like Tebows or the top 10% of like Tom Brady's or the Aaron Rodgers. Those two ends are what's going to pull the rest of the team in the middle that don't have defined views on how a team runs. They're going to sway them to the left or right. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, why do you bring in these people that have a higher chance of swaying the middle of the pack towards the negative side? You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the biggest thing. It's like, why don't you put yourself in a room with, like, the old adage of you don't need choir boys on an NFL team? That's bullshit. Like, it's just complete bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just an easy way of getting out of saying you don't have good enough players, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's just my thoughts on it. Like, why would you bring them in and hope, maybe even accelerate the process of bringing those middle of the pack guys over to the negative side?
Right. And like Mike Garafolo and Ian Rappaport, they were talking about this a little bit. And I guess Mayock his wife is like I guess a therapist. So I'm not saying like, Incognito is going to be her patient, but I mean, best case scenario, you have a guy that finds his 2015, 2016 form before he left the Bills, right? Hard worker, Pro Bowler. He won like a good guy award with the Bills locker room. Worst case scenario is you have a fucking lunatic that threatened to kill people at a funeral home. And then even like 2 days ago, there was a report that came out of Buffalo that when Incognito retired, they beefed up security for a couple of weeks at the facilities in case Incognito showed up. Like I don't understand. How does he get a job?
You hear that kind of shit and you think, how is somebody like that in the NFL right now and somebody like Colin Kaepernick is not? You know what I'm saying? How is Richie Incognito, who you think might come back and shoot up the fucking facility and you have to beat up security in the league right now, and Colin Kaepernick, who took a stand for what he believes in, is not in the league.
And never suspended. Never suspended, never arrested.
I don't get that. We're not going to get into the whole Kaepernick conversation right now. It's going to be a long 30-minute debate, and I don't have the energy for it right now because at the end of the day, we've made our views clear on it in the first few episodes. Like, we know it's wrong, it's fucked up, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like, how is that possible? How can you have Cap not in the league, but Incognito?
And like, if you're going to use the talent thing, okay. Kaepernick was I think a Pro Bowler at one point and got the team to a Super Bowl. Like,
oh my God, you can start him over like 10 quarterbacks right in the NFL,
right?
You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, good luck to Oakland. I mean, dude, I hope he finds whatever he fucking needs to work, but I don't see it working, and it just looks like the Oakland Raiders front office is a bunch of hypocrites right now.
Well, I personally wanted Hard Knocks to go to the Giants because I want nothing more than to get him to run his yap and hopefully get fired. But now with this acquisition and this deal, I would love nothing more to watch the Raiders. I want to see fucking Perfect and Incognito in fucking training camp 4 weeks in a row, just going at it.
Right?
That's gold right there. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect. Incognito, AB, who has a history with Perfect, and then a quarterback that's tired of being questioned of whether or not he's going to be the starter.
Yeah.
John Gruden, which looks like I guess you could say a paper tough guy.
Yeah.
And then Mike Mayock talking out of both sides of his mouth, and creepy looking, what was it? Davis, the owner?
Yeah, Mark Davis.
Yeah, Mark Davis.
You ever see his bowl cut?
He drives in a minivan that's tricked out with like TVs to some guy, I think it's like 3 hours away, to get that fucking crazy ass bowl haircut. Dude, that whole team, if Hard Knocks goes to Oakland, I will pay for HBO at my house.
He looks like me at like 8 years old when my mom cut my hair.
Yeah, but you don't look like a fucking lunatic. He looks like he has 3 people buried in the walls.
The worst thing is he's a fucking millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a millionaire. Like, you ever see that special, The Jinx, on HBO? He was a millionaire too, and he was fucking killing all his wives.
Oof. I
Yeah,
haven't seen that. No.
That's what Oakland is. Just saying.
I'll have to check it out. I love me a good murder mystery. I don't know why.
Check it out.
Do you know the 2 things that fascinate me, like for documentaries, is like murder mysteries and like nuclear power plants. I don't know why.
Oh, so you've been watching Chernobyl, I'm assuming.
Yes, I have on HBO. So good. Have you watched it?
No, because I know the story, and I don't have HBO at the house, but I know the story of Chernobyl.
Dude, the Chernobyl story fascinates me. I don't know why. I don't know why it fascinates me, because I think there's such a large stream of how you can use atomic energy. You can use it for either powering cities and having like endless energy for like thousands of years, or you can demolish 20,000 people with one fucking button. You know what I'm saying? Like I find that like dichotomy so fucking fascinating, and I have been watching that Chernobyl documentary. It is so well directed. It is so well acted. It is so well just put together in a great situation where you can just like get the full on story of what happened. Mm-hmm. It's fucking amazing. You should check it out, dude.
Yeah, I gotta pay for HBO first, but I know the story of Chernobyl. But
like you don't get the details. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the on the ground details. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or you could read articles that have interviews from people that were on the ground.
But would you rather watch an hour show or read a fucking like article?
Or both, because I do both.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Smart Guy. We're not all as good as you with fucking...
Oh, I'm sorry. I like to read. I like to read articles about shit. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I fucking hate reading, dude. I hate reading so bad.
But you were reading... Never mind. We're not going back. I
like audiobooks. Big fan of that.
But you were reading the nuspaper at Starbucks when they were trying to find Jesus.
You gloss over just the headlines. I don't fully... I guess I don't have the attention span to read a book. That's my thing.
Wow.
I can quickly skim through a newspaper and get the violent piece of information. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I guess I'm old school. I'll read the book. I'll read the article. I will find the article online. I will find
this guy.
The educated
Why can't you just be a supportive friend and be like, "Oh, Jay, that's a great point. Jay, I like that point. Yes.
I mean, I do like the point, but like, when you try to say, would you rather
we're getting off topic.
Would you rather read the whole history
we're
or
30
get like
minutes in.
a 90-minute special to make up for the void that was left behind by the lackluster ending of Game of Thrones? I will read the fucking article.
Do not get me started on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I put the echo on for you're fired.
Anywho,
all right,
back to football. So we've established that Incognito was a lunatic and it's probably going to blow up in Oakland.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be that hard to establish that.
Just saying.
Number 2, Robert Kraft.
Yeah, so Robert Kraft. So for those of you that don't know,
my guy,
Robert Kraft, it looks like he's going to have his case of misdemeanor soliciting charges dismissed because the videotape of him getting services at the spa was ruled as inadmissible. So the state's case, which is right. Yeah. Reading the information on the traffic stop, the warrant on the videotaping, it was probably some of the worst police work I've seen since O.J. Simpson. It was pretty bad. And Robert Kraft's not even accused of killing people, and it was that bad for a misdemeanor.
We can both agree, and this is where maybe I'm being a Patriot homer, and if I am, then please call me out, because maybe I am. This is where it annoys me that Robert Kraft's legacy and name has been tarnished in the public's perception and the public eye, right? But we both can agree that this police was so shady and so wrong that we should now go on the other end of it and just criticize the fuck out of these police departments that did this. You know what I'm saying? Because essentially what they did was they took the warrant that was set out by the judge and didn't even comply with it. When you get the approval from a judge to surveil any sort of establishment or whatever it is, you're supposed to have defined parameters in how you go about.
They're super specific.
Exactly, right?
There's
defined parameters. There's strategy involved. What these guys did was they just had a bunch of cameras, these policemen, and they just recorded everything. Now, Robert Kraft did go in there and get a rub and tug. I get that. He did do some illegal activities. I get that. But there are 50 to 75 people that were recorded that were in there for just a regular massage. They were in there naked, they were getting a massage, and they got recorded. That's the equivalent of somebody putting a camera in a bathroom. Yep. Right? So
even the traffic stop was bad.
Yeah, I get it. Robert Kraft hasn't got a bunch of shit, and his whole fucking life is, it's not going to be as bad. He'll recover in a couple of years. But, as of right now, when you think of Robert Kraft, you think of rub and tug,
his biggest knock before this, my thought of Robert Kraft was, all right, the drunk Patriot owner that's shit-faced and is doing a
now
speech
you think of him as
thousands of people.
Yeah, but now you think of him as a sleazy guy, right? Yeah. A shady guy. And I just wish that we would turn around and look at these law enforcement people that clearly threw the rules book out the window and did what they wanted.
It seemed like the local county authorities were trying to put this into express lane to keep up with the greater investigation of human trafficking in South Florida by the other higher up agencies, and they were just casting a wide reaching net and grasping at straws here. So we can all agree that traffic stop, that search warrant, and that tape is really bad police work.
And think about it. They were pushing so hard to get that tape leaked. There was so much
That's all the case was.
Yeah, that's all. And that's what bugs me the most. These shit fucking people with no fucking lives who are sticking their claim to one big guy that comes into their fucking county, Robert Kraft.
But we do know that money talks, because neither one of us would be able to afford to keep that tape under wraps and afford an attorney to go to bat about that.
Yeah, exactly. I get that as well. But it's just what if that tape would have been leaked? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't want to see 70-year-old Robert Kraft.
But there's a lot of sickos out there that would want to see that.
I don't want to see that shit.
But a lot of people would.
But people do, because it's Robert Kraft, the head of the most rock solid league franchises ever in any sport, is now kind of seen as the lowest of the low. But my bigger point with this is there was an article that was done by Sports Illustrated, Albert Breer, a Monday Morning Quarterback, of how Robert Kraft, yes, he's, kind of, I guess, air quote, vindicated right now in the court of law, but in public opinion, there are some people that say he should be suspended, some people that say he shouldn't, and there's been some anonymous owners in the NFC and one in the AFC saying he shouldn't be suspended, and rightfully so, all this other stuff. Yeah. But you have players that are either having the book thrown at them for weed, or you have the book thrown at them, and rightfully so, for domestic violence. But here you have this guy that admitted guilt in a long-winded statement on Twitter via his lawyer.
Why did he do that? I wish he didn't do that.
See, that's the thing. Like, he admitted guilt and then still fought the video to be, snuffed out.
Yeah, but I get that though. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know. It just seems weird. Like there's no, I'm not saying he should get the Robert or the Jim Irsay the Jim Irsay suspension of like, what was it, five games, $500,000 fine and all this other stuff. Kraft admitted guilt.
Yeah. So listen,
one game would be fined by me and $100,000 fine or 75. Not even.
I'm gonna be very objective about this. I'm a Patriots fan, but I'm gonna be as objective as possible. I think I should be fined some way or suspended some way.
Right.
It should be maybe a week, 2 max. Not because of what transpired.
Right.
That is what it is. That's shady people, shady police work. It's just bad all the way around. But he did not get something. He didn't get a charge. He didn't get a guilty plea. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in the court of the law, he did nothing wrong. The case is dismissed now. But I also know that the NFL shield, and if you bring tarnish to that, is a crime in itself. Mm-hmm. We've seen that being established.
You can get suspended without committing a crime.
Exactly, right? And I do see that this brought negative publicity to the Patriots. It brought negative publicity to the NFL. So he does deserve a week suspension at the max.
A week, and if you're going to hit him with a fine, no more than $100K.
Yeah, take $200K, $250K, throw it towards the fucking charity.
Right.
But I think he should have something brought against him because of the negative publicity he brought on
and especially
himself.
under like the current CBA, where the commissioner has the authority to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Which I hope to God changes in the next CBA.
Of whether it's player misconduct or other stuff. I mean, you have people that were suspended for domestic violence, but when it came to actual legal court case time, there was no verdict to be had because the other party never showed up.
Sure.
So
cool. Well, that I figure that really wraps it up really well, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything else to say that.
Yeah.
The next topic is the top 5 breakout players of the NFL this year. This is me and Puma going through the league, picking out players we think could be just great breakout players. Some have established themselves as good starters, but they might be taking the next step. Some are just kind of wild, dark picks that we think could eventually be great. My first pick is going to be David. Where'd he go? So Browns tight end David Njoku. He is a physical freak, first and foremost, right? With Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry freeing up the middle of the field or freeing up the outsides, Njoku can run down the field, be open. There's a lot of firepower on that Browns offense, and he can benefit from that. Now, a lot of time he'll be on the field. He will see a lot of plays just because of the running attack the Browns are going to run with. So he'll be out there blocking quite a bit, and that's going to lead to the play action fake and hopefully get him the ball down the field.
Right, and I like that pick. I mean, the talent's always been there.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a physical freak.
Always been there.
He's a physical freak, man.
I mean, last year everyone kind of had him tabbed, even in fantasy football perspective, of Njoku, he's going to be one of the top tight ends, and he just unperformed. I think this year is definitely going to be put up or shut up, and I think he's going to break out for sure. Who's your next guy?
My second player. Do you want to do like your?
You want to trade up?
Yeah, because it's going to be me talking 5
minutes. I'm going to follow. I'll follow suit with the tight end. So I'm going to go Hunter Henry of the LA Chargers. Yeah. He had a lot of potential going into last season. He showed a lot of flashes of his ceiling. Or not ceiling. Yeah. The ceiling of his talent. He looked really good in primetime games, but his 2018 campaign was cut short because he blew his ACL out, I believe, before training camp. So he missed the entire regular season, played a handful of snaps against the Patriots in the playoffs. But I think, good things are going to happen when Phillip Rivers is throwing you the football. And he's going to take over the reins of tight end for the Chargers with Antonio Gates now being a free agent, probably retiring. And with coverages shifting over to Keenan Allen and, Williams and, hell, even Melvin Gordon out of the backfield, you're going to see Hunter Henry getting those red zone looks. He's a big guy. He can run routes. He's good at pass protect and blocking, and he's got amazing hands. Yeah. So I think Hunter Henry's primed, and I'll even go on a fantasy football limb here too. I think he's probably going to be one of the top tight ends maybe 3-4 in the league fantasy football wise. Mm-hmm. So definitely keep an eye on Hunter Henry fantasy football targets.
My second pick is going to be Packers wide receiver Jamon Moore. I fully believe this is the year that Rodgers and the Packers will have just a historically great offensive year. In that mold, when you do have those great offenses, you generally get great distribution throughout your weapons, right? And Jamon Moore is interesting on those weapons because he is a wide receiver at Mizzou. His second year, he had a year to learn that offense. And with that being said, the experience of 1 year learning and Aaron Rodgers just being on fire this year, hopefully, I think will pay off in great dividends. He's very talented. He can run all the routes in the route tree. He has great speed, and I loved everything I saw off of his tape last year. So hopefully that will translate into a great breakout year for Jamon. And
he'll pretty much be filling like the Randall Cobb void, right?
Yeah. He'll be like in that slot, maybe outside hybrid role kind of thing. So we'll see how it pans out.
I'm going to follow the ACL trend, and I believe one of your colleagues is a Vikings fan, right?
Yeah, so my boy Aaron LaFold from the Clay Lacy Van Nuys, California office is a big Vikings fan, and he listens to our podcast on a weekly basis. He's our biggest advocate out there in the Van Nuys office. So thank you for the support, Aaron LaFold. We appreciate it, brother, man.
So your guy, I mean, he might not want to hear this because this guy's always a candidate, but Dalvin Cook, I think is going to break out next year. He's going to have a full year recovery from ACLs. We went on a whole tangent last week of how it takes a full year to get mobility back in the knee and the confidence, especially with Dalvin Cook, where he's explosive, he's cutting, he's juking and jiving, and he's blasting gaps and he's bouncing outside, and they're using him in the passing game. And I think he's going to have a breakout year, especially since when they had John DeFilippo last year as offensive coordinator. It was kind of a vanilla offense. They were just trying to get the ball to Thielen. They're trying to air it out. And Dalvin Cook, whenever he got run, he was running into a brick wall for like 3 yards. His average yards per carry was, it wasn't anything astounding, especially because I had Cook on my fantasy team. But this year, you're going back to the well with Kevin Stefanski now as the official offensive coordinator who took over for DeFilippo last year, and Cook got more run. You have Gary Kubiak coming in as assistant head coach and advisor to the offense, who's going to provide a more balanced attack. The offensive line has also improved for the Vikings. I think Dalvin Cook, you're going to get more run out of him. Definitely someone I'm going to be targeting in fantasy football this year. I might get burned by him again, but Dalvin Cook, keep him on the radar for that running attack of his.
All right. Good pick there. Good pick. I like it. My next pick, number 3, is going to be N'Keal Harry, the wide receiver rookie out of Arizona State for the Patriots.
Okay.
We
were both high on him in the draft.
I am fully invested in N'Keal Harry, man. I love everything about this kid. In the past, I'm a Patriots fan, so in the past I've seen wide receivers being drafted, and you hear from training camp they're not picking up the offense that well. You hear in OTAs that they're possibly not meshing with the teammates as well as they should have. But with N'Keal Harry getting into the fold, I'm fully invested. He's 6'4", man, 215 pounds. There's lots of opportunity in that offense. Additionally, he's already out there working out with Brady and Julian Edelman. So he's already out there learning as much as possible, and everything you hear from Pat's OTAs is he's picking up the offense. He's in great shape. This is starting to get to the point where I was really worried about the Patriots offense. But I'm starting to see this Patriots offense take some shape now. I see the running backs that we have. I see N'Keal Harry, Demaryius Thomas. If Josh Gordon can give us 5-6 games next year, that'd be great. There's some rumblings that they're not done at tight end just yet. There's a lot of rumblings that maybe a Kyle Rudolph or somebody else could potentially come into the fold. So this whole offense is starting to take shape, and I'm starting to get really excited right now.
Right. We have it on high authority. Albert Breer of the Monday Morning Quarterback. I posed a question to him. And he answered.
Dude, you're like an Instagram star, bro. Twitter star.
Instagram, Twitter. I'm all about that shit. But about Kyle Rudolph, Albert Breer, he went out. He put it on the record. He's on authority saying that they have been actively, shopping the idea of getting Kyle Rudolph. I mean, his contract, it's $7 million. New England never pays anybody, so you kind of have to figure out the money aspect. But if they get Kyle Rudolph, there are targets to be had in that offense. Like, you can't just keep giving the ball to Julian Edelman. And N'Keal Harry, he's gonna get the ball at some point. So I'm with you on that one.
Could you imagine though, like if we had Sony Michel, James White, Damian Harris, the rookie running back out of Alabama, Josh Gordon, which is a few games here, and the Demaryius Thomas with like 5-6 games, N'Keal Harry taking the wide receiver load, Kyle Rudolph, Julian Edelman, ASG. right?
Yeah.
Ben Watson, that's a good fucking offense right there, man.
Speaking of Ben Watson, suspended for 4 games for PED use.
We'll need him in the back end of the year, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Pass protection. My breakout guy, I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm going to go down to my team in South Beach. I'm going to go down to the Dolphins. I'm going with Minkah Fitzpatrick, cornerback, safety for the Miami Dolphins entering his second year. I think he's going to be poised for a big year. You got Brian Flores. He comes from the Bill Belichick the coaching tree. He's a great defensive mind. And, I mean, hell, Fitzpatrick, he was lined up at safety. He was lined up at slot corner. He was outside. And then Flores even went on the record a few days ago saying that he could see Fitzpatrick playing at linebacker and dime and nickel packages. Wow. And I think he's going to have a stellar year. He ended the season last year with 80 tackles, 2 picks, one of them for a touchdown. And I think he's going to supersede that performance this year under Brian Flores and his coaching staff. And I'm hearing a lot of positive things out of that coaching staff as a whole out of South Beach.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, man, he might carve out like the Devin McCourty kind of role that started off as a corner and then ended up playing safety for the Patriots. So I'm really bullish on Minkah Fitzpatrick this year.
Yeah, my next pick is going to be pick number 4. It's the cornerback out of Dallas, Chidobe Awuzie.
You're following going defense.
I am going defense. I was like, I can't just be all offense. I think the conversations we've had so far, I am in love with that Dallas defense. I love their linebackers. I love DeMarcus Lawrence getting his big contract. Mm-hmm. With that being said, Awuzie last year started carving out a good role. He started to become a solid starter for these guys. And I think this is the year he'll take the next step and be a household name. Like, people can't even say his name right now. Awuzie, right? I have to have people like, spot out for me kind of thing.
Right, have that guy in a spelling bee.
Yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, he'll just be a bigger name next year. He'll have a bigger role. He won't be that breakout like, DeWar Rivas kind of cornerback.
Right.
But he could be a solid he'll be a solid top 10 cornerback playing in that defense. And think a lot of like how Sherman played in that Seahawks defense where he's a system cornerback and he benefited from that great front seven. Mm-hmm. That's how I see this panning out for Awuzie, where he'll benefit off of that Jalen Smith or DeMarcus Lawrence pass rush.
Right, even Van Der Esch on pass rush.
Van Der Esch, yeah. The Wolf.
Yep. Going back to the offensive side of the ball, I'm going to go Royce Freeman, running back for the Denver Broncos. Now, one guy in our fantasy league, Dan, he drafted Royce Freeman pretty high based on reports. I mean, Royce Freeman was originally tabbed as the lead back in that Bronco backfield until the hometown hero, my boy Philip Mighty Mouse Lindsay, took over. But I think he's going to be primed. You have an old school coach in Vic Fangio, and then you have a kind of up and coming offensive coordinator, Rick Scangrilla, coming out of college, calling plays. I think they're going to go more for a balanced attack. You got Flacco that can throw the ball downfield, but Freeman is more of the thumper out of the two between him and Philip Lindsay. He was used a lot in short yardage situations until he had that high ankle sprain last year. But I think you're going to see Freeman get a little bit more run. I think they're going to kind of go more traditional running back wise. He's going to be blasting the gaps a little bit. So definitely someone I might target in fantasy. I might target him in the later rounds if I need to fill like a bench spot. Royce Freeman, I think he could get quite a bit of run, especially with that Bronco offensive line being improved in the draft. So definitely keep your eyes on Royce Freeman.
The next person I have will be the Rams defensive tackle, Tenzel Smart. A lot of people have forgotten this name because he was hurt a lot last year. If he was to succeed this year, he needs to stay healthy, which is number one. But the reason why the Rams let Sue walk is because of this guy. They fully believe if he can stay healthy, he can make a tremendous. He can be disruptive on that defensive line. Additionally, playing alongside Aaron Donald, you already get a leg up. So watch out for this guy.
Fowler coming off on the edge too.
Exactly. Right. He's physical. He needs to stay healthy, but he is a little bit of the forgotten person in that.
Right. He's going to be with Wade Phillips too.
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
That's my top 5. What's your 5th player, bro?
My 5th one. I'm going to stay offense. I'm going to the NFC East, though. I'm going Sterling Shepard, wide receiver for the New York Giants. Welcome to the... Hang on a sec. Let me hit you with the echo.
Let's hear it.
Welcome Welcome to the post-OBJ world for Big Blue. That's right. So post-OBJ world, there are targets to be had for Sterling Shepard in this upcoming season. He ended last year with 66 receptions, 872 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But he also averaged about like 13 and a half yards per catch. I think he's going to eclipse that. I think he's definitely going to push through. I think he might do better than the big free agent signing Golden Tate, especially in that offense with Pat Shurmur. A lot of underneath routes to open up the deep play. I think Sterling Shepard could stretch the field a little bit more than Golden Tate. Golden Tate's a little bit more of yards after the catch kind of a guy. So I think Sterling Shepard, especially getting that contract extension, granted, contract extensions don't mean shit in with the Giants, but I think Gettleman is a little bit more bullish on Shepard over OBJ just because there isn't an on and off, well, not off because OBJ was all right, but on field like a distraction issue with Sterling Shepard. I think he's gonna break out. And there were reports even after they traded OBJ the following day. Mike Garafolo, I said this before, he reported that there are people in the building that think that the offense can flow more smoothly now that OBJ's out of the building. They don't have to force the ball to him. It's going to open up the playbook a little bit more. And I think Shepard's going to be a beneficiary of all those targets that are now going to be divvied up amongst the people.
Sure.
So.
And the real question is, can Eli Manning get him the ball?
I think Daniel Jones is going to start earlier than a lot of people are expecting.
I hope to God that happens.
I mean, you had offensive coordinator, you had Coach Shula come out at a press conference a few weeks ago saying that he could start, he being Jones, could start week 1. He looked good on tape. Even at OTAs, I watched some of the highlights that the Giants have been putting out, and other media personalities have been putting out as well too, and on Twitter. It sounds like Eli's having a hard camp, and it sounds like Daniel Jones is looking really good right now. So I think Daniel Jones is going to start a lot sooner, and if that happens, you're going to see a boom on Shepard. So keep an eye out for those guys.
One word for Jones: trash. Puma's favorite word: trash.
How is Jones trash?
Not time or the place.
What do you mean not a time or place? You're throwing out an accusation, and you're not even backing it up with facts. Like
trash. All right.
Okay, he's trash, but you can go to like a few days ago on Instagram. Now, granted, it's OTAs, it's glorified spring practice, but he looked good. He dropped the dime in stride to a wide receiver in coverage, and he looked pretty good doing it. So
time will tell, brother, man. All right,
I'm already going to buy that number 8 jersey once it's officially on sale.
Yes. Yep. You're a fan of every team. I get it.
I'm not a fan of every team, but I am saying you're going to see a lot of Daniel Jones.
I hope to God not. Either way, that is the top 5 breakout players that we have in the NFL upcoming. What do we want to get to next? The mailbag questions?
Oh, we got the mailbag question. So
let's hear this, bro.
I'm going to lead off with our boy Derek on Instagram at ATPilot. So guys, how does Vegas determine the odds of a team making it to the Super Bowl or even winning a given game?
I mean, that's, I don't know how, truthfully, I don't have a good answer for this. I don't know how the back ends of the gambling industry work. I assume they take top 5 power rankings and people, they will, odds on favor to get there and just kind of give them some odds. I mean, I don't know how the back ends of it work, but maybe you can speak to them more clearly.
Right, so Derek, friend of the podcast, original friend of the podcast, D-Rec. So I'm a gambling guy, but not real. I've kind of dipped my toe into it a little bit.
Dude, what's your thought before we get to that? What's your thoughts on that whole what's that daily dollar gambling app?
FanDuel and
DraftKings?
FanDuel.
Do you ever do that?
I haven't done it because I work too hard for my money to bet that shit.
True.
And I feel like if it's on my phone, that's a fucking rabbit hole. Now all of a sudden, I'm going to be in some fucking trouble here.
Next thing you know, gamblers.
Derek, from what I saw, Vegas takes into account historical data over the past couple of years, and they take in coaching styles, whether or not this coach kicks a field goal, all the way down to nuances of kicking a field goal, 2-point conversion, do they go for it? And you could look at the Super Bowl last year where the Rams, depending on the sports book in Vegas, you were the Rams were either 1-point favorite or 3-point favorites.
I think it was 3-point favorites.
Right, depending on there was a little variation between 1 and 3.
Yeah.
And then when the Patriots were in the Super Bowl, when it became official, the Pats were then favored by 3. So you also have to factor in outside bettors putting their money on the what was originally the I guess you could say outside of Vegas, the underdog, air quote Patriots, but Vegas had them as the favorites the whole time once the bettors became involved. So you factor in betting, you factor in sharks that are in bed with Vegas, historical data. So I think that is how the odds are, and especially in the off season with acquisitions and the schedule and the strength of schedule and all that other nonsense. And
that's fine and all, but it's interesting how they make like prop bets for like how long the anthem will go.
Right.
That's so stupid. Like that, nobody knows that. Like, there's no way that you can possibly even like analyze that data. There's no way you can look at the last like 19 Super Bowls and be like, this ran 2 minutes, this ran 4 minutes.
Right.
It really just comes down to what do you think? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I mean, especially now it's like even tenfold with prop bets of what do you do for a prop bet in what are we at? We're at June 1st right now at recording. So it's kind of interesting with Vegas has. So Jay, I'll give you this other one from Instagram. Our boy Freddie at Hercules2424. Do you guys think Pat Mahomes should be worried about the Madden curse? People will point to Brady and say he wasn't cursed, but he went to the Super Bowl that year and threw for over 500 yards in the Super Bowl and lost. AB last year was surrounded by drama and will wear a new jersey this coming season.
Yeah, I mean, the Madden curse, I don't buy too much stock into it. It hasn't been relevant for the last 4 or 5 years. It's been like, in the past, it was like, Michael Luke was on, then he got hurt the next year. It was the Madden curse that made you get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now it's just like, well, he had a good year. He had a decent year. Brady had a great year. I mean, at the end of the day, he won the Super Bowl, but it's still a great year to go to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So Mahomes will have some regression in his stats next year. There's no way he's going to go out there and throw 50 touchdowns again.
Right.
The NFL is too good of a league, too smart of a league. They will hone in on your weaknesses, and they will use that against you. He's not going to throw 50 touchdowns, but he will come in around the 32 to 35 touchdown range. Now, if it's between 25 and 30 touchdowns, then I'm a little bit worried. I'm like, what did they figure out about him? Is he as good as we thought he is? You know what I'm saying? Because he's not just middle of the pack good. He is transcendent good from what we've seen for year one.
Right.
But then again, we've seen this in the past. We've seen Robert Griffin come out, light it up for 1 year, you know what I'm saying? And then the NFL figured him out, you know what I'm saying? People such as, who else was it? Vince Young had some luck in the beginning. Tebow didn't have these stats, but he had some luck winning games, you know what I'm saying? Eventually the league figures you out. And it's those great players that can make that great leap second year as well, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, if this year he is still transcendent, then we'll know we have something great for the next 15 years.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that one. I'm not saying, like, to me, regressing, I guess this is a coined term by Mike Clay of ESPN at Mike Clay, great fantasy football analysis, regressing against the mean. Like, I'm not trying to poke at Kansas City Chiefs fans, but to fully expect that he's going to throw for 50-plus touchdowns this year is just, absurd.
That's absurd, yeah.
Like, best case, mid-30s, low 40s. Like, and even the low 40s is high.
Sure.
So, especially if you factor in Tyreek Hill, he's in limbo.
Yeah.
There's no official stance. The Shield is waiting for, an actual ruling, I guess, or what the actual, law officers want to do with that whole scenario out there. So I don't think I'm not buying the curse with Mahomes. I think you're going to get 35 touchdowns from him. Mecole Hardman is going to be key for him. You're going to have production with him and Travis Kelce. So I'm not buying that curse thing.
I think there's going to be some regression in general with that team.
Of course.
I think with all the turmoil, the drama, Tyreek Hill's not going to be there.
And there's question marks on the defense.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt's not going to be there. How much is this Nicole kid going to step in and how much is he going to learn in year one? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't expect much out of him.
And the division got better.
Right? The Chargers are knocking at those doors, right? So it's going to be hard for the Chiefs this year, man.
Right.
They better step it up. So.
Right, and it's not even just the division. You look at just the AFC as a whole. Like, all right, Cleveland doesn't win the AFC North.
Yeah.
They could be in contention for a wild card. Oh, the LA Chargers are on a fucking hot streak right now.
Yeah.
I mean, now you're going toe to toe with the Cleveland Browns if everything's going according to plan with them. And then you have to factor in all these other teams. Like every team in the AFC got better for the most part.
Dude, I can't
Nobody
wait.
really took a step back except the Chiefs. If you factor in that wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, that may or may not be playing again.
Dude, I cannot wait for the NFL season, dude. It's gonna be
I'm
so
frothing,
dope.
bro. I'm frothing.
I can't wait, man. It's fucking May. What, June actually?
June 1st.
Oh my god, we got so much time left. Last thing I want to hit on, and then we can wrap it up. We're already like at an hour in, Jesus. But did you hear the story about how Lamar Jackson showed up to train to OTAs? And the Ravens coaching staff installed a brand new offense, and nobody told him. He walked in, and there was a brand new offense, and nobody told him one bit.
I'm not buying that. I mean, I saw the report.
You saw the reports, right?
I saw the report. I don't have my head in the sand. But just the fact that a head coach that was on the hot seat until Lamar Jackson took over and got them to the playoffs, and then the entire coaching staff and the general manager did not talk to this man in the offseason and said...
I don't think they did, bro.
No.
I don't think they did.
Yo.
I think John Harbaugh didn't want Lamar Jackson. And I think now that he realized, well, shit, I won some games. I was going to get fired with him. I guess I should start maybe tailing the offense towards him. But then you would have told him, you know what I'm saying?
But then you have reports of Lamar Jackson working on his throwing and improving a little bit in the offseason.
At the end of the day, when you're throwing like fucking duck balls to wide receivers that are like 5 yards away, it's going to be it's not that hard to fucking...
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm not buying it. Yeah. I don't think that the Ravens organization and John Harbaugh, whose job now is tied to Lamar Jackson, is keeping him in the dark.
Sure.
But my one point I want to hit on is, did you hear about the friggin' spelling bee the other day?
Yeah, the 8-way tie.
The 8-way tie.
Yep.
I was watching. I was in Vermont. I was helping my boy and his wife. They just got a new house and they're ready to start a family. They're doing the whole thing. So I was up there helping them move. And I was watching the NBA Finals and I'm looking for the post game. I'm trying to find it on ESPN, and it wasn't there because the spelling bee was on. They ended it at midnight with an 8-way tie because they didn't want to keep the kids up too late and they ran out of words.
They didn't want the kids to keep up too late.
Now,
that's so stupid.
As someone that is a guardian of a child who is the same age as these people that are in a spelling bee contest can tell on firm authority that there are 10 to 12-year-olds up until 4 o'clock in the friggin' morning playing Fortnite. I'm not too worried about them staying up too late to do spelling bees.
You know how you finish? You know how you break that 8-way tie?
What? Do a Fortnite Battle Royale on ESPN?
No. You do sudden death, one word. Pick the hardest word out of like the Russian dictionary. Really throw them for a curveball.
Now we're not doing like say this in a sentence, right? Like here's the word. You have 30 seconds
here's
to spell
a word
it.
In Russian. Spell it.
Yep.
Whoever gets the closest,
dude,
there it is.
This is the ultimate nerfing of society today. We don't want to keep the kids up too late, so we're gonna have a fucking 8-way tie. Why don't you just have all 500 kids get a participation trophy?
Dude, people are too soft nowadays, man.
No, what's gonna happen when these kids actually face now I'm going deep in the weeds here. What's gonna happen when these kids face actual adversity and they don't know what to do because there's a fucking 8-way tie or everyone gets a participation award? No. These kids are staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning playing friggin' Fortnite. I know on firm authority that they're doing that. No. Break out the fucking dictionary. You have the whole thing friggin' in front of you. Break out some words and have them spell that shit. Otherwise, the script spelling bee, you're fired.
That was a good one. I felt it.
You felt that?
I felt that, bro.
Good.
I felt that.
Good. Fucking chap my ass.
I think I have nothing else to add to that, bro.
On that note, should I plug it up?
We should plug it up, bro.
All right. For those of you that suffered through an hour and change. 17 weeks of the Pro Football Radio Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Pro Football Radio Podcast, Twitter PFR Podcast. I'm on Twitter at Brando_Puma. My co-host here, Jay Cheema, is at Jay Cheema. Let us know what you think. If you have any takes, any comments, any questions, this is your podcast. We want to tailor it towards you. Otherwise, that's all I got.
This has been episode number 17 with Pancho and the Puma.
Oh, bring out Pancho. Otherwise, via convenience.